I never had actually gone into Hollywood until I started modeling, which I think I started at like, I don't know, 14 or 15.
Mhm.
I had never been to the city. So just wait, hold on there.
The issues with Zoom, right? Always
Oh my
something.
gosh, right? It's crazy. Also, forgive me, I'm at my friend's house, so if you hear anyone, any children screaming in the background, to be clear, they aren't my children. I don't
Okay,
have.
well that would be a rumor mill starter there, right?
Right? Exactly.
To clarify it in advance.
Just to
Well,
clarify.
how nice of your friend to let you do this out there too.
I know. Well, I was like, hey, I have interviews all day. Is that okay? They're like, yeah, use our office here. We'll try to be quiet, but they've got kids.
Where's
So
the scenery? You have I don't know, mile high like trees behind you and everything. It seems like you're in a rainforest or something.
New York.
That's weird, like upstate New York.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that. It
Yeah.
looks gorgeous out there. So,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
Like, this is great. Just
Yeah, why not?
go
Are you living out in LA currently or
Yeah.
yeah?
In Los Angeles, born and raised.
And well, yeah, that's most part of your life.
Yep, exactly.
Well, New York's a good change of pace. So, especially upstate New York, quiet and nature filled, it's a good getaway.
Exactly. Totally.
Well, I'm so happy to talk to you. I've been wanting to talk to you for years, actually. So
Oh,
this
it's
came
really
about at a right time, and this is so cool. By the way, you look a lot different. Did you dye your hair for a role or something? Or
So well, actually,
I
no.
always remember you blonde, like that's just like
Right.
your signature look.
Uh, um, it's funny because this is actually my natural hair color. And what happened was during the pandemic, my hairstylist slash friend, she accidentally fried off my hair. And so it was like either I shaved my head or I cut it super short and let it grow out. So it's kind of at this awkward stage, if you will, at the moment. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
okay
get a little
with
bun
that.
going there, like a
Yeah,
geisha.
I'm like this tiny little ponytail. So I was just like, I'm just gonna rock my natural hair color, like just go now all natural, let it all grow out, and then figure it out then.
Something new and different.
Yeah,
Maybe maybe this all happened for a reason. This mistake turned into like a new revelation.
yeah, like you need to hit the reset button.
Yeah, right. And believe me, I could hit a few reset buttons in my life too. So.
Yeah, hilarious.
We all kind of need that sometimes. So, how's life been? How is everything going on recently and throughout this year?
Everything's been really great. I well, obviously, I shot this movie,
Yep.
I Love Us, and then I also shot another movie called Agent Game, which will be out next year. And
That's the Mel
been
Gibson movie, right? With Mel Gibson.
yeah, it's really cool. It's fun.
That must have been a cool experience to get to work with him.
Yeah, he was great. It was awesome. And to be able to pull it off during this time and the
Yeah.
pandemic and everything. But I being, in lockdown during the pandemic was actually, it's funny because I haven't stopped working since I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
I started when I was 17. I literally haven't stopped. And I was on air for 8 seasons, and we literally finished the show November 2019. We got into 2020. I had got a divorce. Then we were in lockdown. So like every part of my life was sort of just completely. I moved back to Los Angeles from living in Vancouver. Obviously divorce, and then going into lockdown. And when you're on a show, like it was just go 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 all the time on
Yeah.
weekends. So my brain was like, and I honestly felt like it was like, ooh, you need to like stop. And obviously the world, like just take some time, take a breath. And I had a lot of like growing and self-discovery. And I wrote a pilot during this pandemic because the rights to this book fell into my lap. And I've always wanted to write. I've always wanted to. I actually directed my first episode in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But direct, write, produce, act, all of it. I love it all.
So a little bit of a change. That's actually good. You got to explore different avenues of your creative side too. And, I mean, just even dealing with being on a show for that long too, that's a big, it's like you get used to a routine, and they become
Yeah.
like family members and you're just kind of pulled away from it all. I could imagine that's a big change, and then obviously going through a divorce is a whole set of
Yeah.
challenges right there too. So that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, but I always look, I feel like if anyone can handle it, I can. And,
Mhm.
it was good. I embrace challenge, and it certainly was challenging, but it was also really healthy. And for that, I have gratitude.
Yeah.
Trying to find the silver lining.
New chapter in your life, right? You view it that way. Something it's with the hair now too, it's just like a new progression. We don't evolve as humans, just so you can't stay in a constantly, because it's just not
Exactly.
productive for your long term.
100%. And I love that you said that, because that's really truly what I believe. Like, I can't say static. I can't say stagnant. I have to continue to like grow and learn and evolve.
Yeah.
And so the hair thing just happened, and I'm just going with it.
Yeah, I like it now even more so. I heard about this movie, I Love Us, for a while. Like, Danny is probably one of my favorite people. I consider him a friend. I consider him a friend. I've interviewed him a ton of times, so I knew about this movie a long time ago. And we always get to talk about like his engagement. I know he's been doing a lot in the past year.
Yeah.
A lot been going on, but he's been so proud of this movie. That's the one movie he kept on telling me about from the beginning of the year, how happy he was to have it, to put it together, how much it meant to him.
Yeah.
And
He did
so
an incredible job too. I mean,
he really did.
And when I got the script, I was like, I love this. I love this. I love us. I like just couldn't stop saying. And then, even when I had asked him to come on as a producer, because, I wanted to help just be more involved creatively and help problem solve, because there's always going to be problems that come up, and it's just sort of collaborating and figuring out what the solution is together. And he was just such a nice, fun, good energy, and then girls, Jasper and Harlow, they were so sweet, and we had, and I'm so glad the movie. It was really fun. It was really fun to be a part of and really fun to shoot.
Yeah, and the character from you too. I feel like I've seen your career since those teenage years, kind of following you from the early goings, and I felt like this was kind of another chapter in your career too. Role wise, just like a different kind of mature, in a sense, role that you've been in a lot of the Gossip Girls, Melrose Place, kind of the hot girl, and the young party kind of girl. But this was a really cool, mature part for you, I felt like, and a different side of you that I didn't really see in a lot of other films.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Well, again, evolving and growing and learning in life. I guess this is the first time I've ever played a mother, but I don't have kids of my own. I have nieces and nephews, but I love children. I certainly know, like, I have that natural maternal instinct anyway. So it was kind of it was pretty easy for me to step into this character. I shouldn't say easy, because there's definitely, I want to, characters, they have to have substance. They have to have, for me, like, there's got to be more going on than just she's the girl, the love interest. Like, there's got to be more.
Right.
So I liked her, her backstory. She's her husband. She has these two young girls, and she's trying to make it on her own as a single mother, and she's not looking for love, but she bumps into Sammy, and this Sammy's character actually says, any moment can change your life, and his life changed the moment he met Laura, and same with Laura. Everybody, it's one moment that can just change everything, and they have this beautiful love story until, well. Can I spoil it? Do I spoil it?
Yeah, no, you can. I mean, I'll put a spoiler. I always put it, but open forum.
She gets in a crash and dies, and then he gets to then step into this more father role for these two girls, and it's just such a cool. Like, there's crime, there's romance, there's sadness, there's there's action. There's like it's just very well done.
It's kind of like a human movie. I felt like it's like a human story. I mean, feasibly, it's not impossible. These things could actually happen. These sort of love connections and tragedies, and what grows out of them. It's kind of like once again, the theme of this conversation, like evolution of life. You
Yeah.
unexpected things kind of happen, and you can't plan on things really sometimes long ahead because you just don't know what's around the corner, in any facet.
Right, exactly. I mean, look what we went through as globally,
Yeah.
this pandemic. And that's what I love about it too, is I feel like a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this story. And it's just so raw and it's so real and honest. And shit happens and you have to just figure it out.
Right.
We constantly are and will continue forever to do so.
No doubt about it. And I just feel like Danny's whatever he does a movie, I feel like there's a lot of elements of his own life or experiences he brings to him. I always appreciate that about his films, that he not only, he's just a good talent on screen, but he's also such a very creative person, and how he makes his films just relatable in that way. And there's always something as an audience member to take away when you can envision reality of it.
Right, exactly. And he's also just, again, such a great energy.
Mhm.
He's like a friend. He's just like immediately someone who you could be best friends with, but he's so smart and very on top of he's on it. He's got a lot of energy, which is awesome. But yeah, he's just awesome. And I'm really proud of him, and I'm really proud of us because I
Yeah.
love us.
There you go. It works with the title. No,
Exactly.
I mean, he's an easy person to connect with. Like, I know when I get back out to LA, I got a basketball game planned with him and David Arquette. So,
Oh, awesome. Nice.
so we're gonna run that up. But
Yeah.
I love how he always uses his friends in his films too. He always talks about having a good set with people he can trust and rely on. And I think that's also a key. You've worked on so many different sets. It's just a different feel when you're working with people you're friendly with and familiar, and know what to expect from.
Yeah, 100%. I think that you have to be able to trust, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
and I'm glad and grateful and thankful that Danny, he came to me for this because we hadn't worked together, and now I'm like, great, what are we doing next?
You're part of his circle now. It's like,
Yeah, I'm like, what's next?
you're in
I
now.
love this. Yeah, exactly.
Which is great. Yeah, it's interesting too, in a sense that, I mentioned kind of like your career, how much it spanned. I always wondered, you kind of grew up in this industry in a sense, with your parents' backgrounds in entertainment. Like, how is it tough? Is it easy? I always kind of wonder the actors and performers who grow up in a family like that, where it's kind of, that from an early age, versus someone that, doesn't have that and just kind of, becomes that in later life and no family affiliation with that. What has it sort of been your experience like growing up around entertainment and growing up in LA in general, where you see it on a daily basis versus
Right.
somewhere like in, in Texas or whatnot?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say this because my fun fact, I guess, I don't know if it's fun, it's just a fact, actually.
Mhm.
Quick fact, I didn't actually meet my biological father until I was in fourth grade.
Yeah.
So I had two other stepfathers, who my sister's father and then my stepfather, who raised me in Woodland Hills. And I had I never had actually gone into Hollywood until I started modeling, which I think I started at, like, I don't know, 14 or 15.
Mhm.
I had never been to the city. So just, I had a pretty, I shouldn't say normal childhood, but to me, what is normal, right? Like, it's normal for me because that's all I know.
Right.
Um, and so when I started actually going and auditioning, it was actually, I felt like it was almost more difficult having the last name Cassidy, because you walk into these rooms, you have all this tremendous pressure because I have someone I have to live up to.
Right.
Also, so you're also put under a microscope in a way where you have people, you walk into a room and they're like, oh, this is David Cassidy's daughter. Let's see if she can actually act, and so I had to prove myself, but I wanted to do it on my own merit. And my dad didn't help me in any regards of like, hey, I know this, but like, I just went, did my thing, studied, stayed focused, and just kept going. It's hard no matter what.
Oh yeah.
But and being in Los Angeles, again, I try to have like blinders on, because you can get distracted so easily. people and all of the people who go there to become these stars. When for me, I was in theater growing up, and I've always wanted to do it for the art and the craft of it, not for, I actually don't like the flip side of it. I don't love having, like going and walking red carpets. Obviously it's part of the job, but that's my personal least favorite part.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time I'm doing a red carpet,
She hates these, don't
Oh,
talk
damn, it's this guy again. Yeah.
I'm also like grateful to be there, and I understand that that's part of it. But so
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's just in my blood. It's obviously in the gene pool. I'm third generation as an entertainer, and it's cool because again, like I had said, I've been exploring other and evolving, directing and writing and acting and producing, and I want to do it all.
Is that kind of your next step? Because I mean, you've done acting for a while, and is that next step you want to get into more the writing and directing, or you just want to kind of, yeah?
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not going to act. I think I'll forever act.
Right.
But yes, I wrote a pilot, like I had mentioned, and I'm writing something else also. And I directed and wrote something during the pandemic that I'm now currently editing. So yeah, I want to do all of the things.
Oh, wow. You're going nitty gritty. You're editing. You know that. I know that for editing my own stuff. That's the real stuff when it comes down to that's the kind of the sometimes fun, but also the real work. And when you're doing
100%. And here's the thing though, too. So this is the way I've always looked at it. So now after I've written the pilot and writing another script, first of all, I have so much respect, more respect now that I've gone through it and done it for writers than I did before. And tremendous, and actors and directors. Now, like I've learned being in different places and different roles, if I can understand what their role is once, if not, well, writing, directing, producing, acting, I feel like I'm gonna forever do, but now I'm editing. It's so hard. And so now I'm like, I have such tremendous respect for editors and their process, and it's so tedious, and I'm just grateful. So there's a lot of gratitude there too. And so I don't know, I think like if you can see it from, try and learn about creating story and movies and telling them through art and acting and in all different aspects, it's only going to make you a better entertainer overall, or individual who's able to tell a story overall.
Yeah, because you're well-rounded now. And the editing now, that's what makes the movie. One little cut, one little thing changes the whole dynamic of everything.
Rhythm is a big part of it. And there's something there with obviously being, coming from a musical family, but I'm very much into numerology and numbers and like these charts. And one of my charts said, like for me, my highest areas were creativity, rhythm, and music, and being able to work. Like I like collaborate, which I do love collaborating. Like I work well with others. And I just thought the rhythm thing was so interesting because there is a rhythm even in editing, and when you're watching a movie, there's certain beats that you gotta. I don't know how to explain it.
It's
true. It's sometimes difficult when you're with the editor during the episode I directed. I mean, I remember I was sitting in her office for 2 days. I only got 2 days of editing, so I was there for a 60-minute show, and it was insane. For like all day for 48 hours, and I just didn't stop talking. I was like, okay, now I took this take, and I think it's here, and this is where this is, and this is where this needs to go, and this and that, and then I'd be like, are you okay? And she would be like, okay, it's okay. This is my job. It's okay.
Yeah.
And now just doing it myself, it's like it's a lot. And I have to say, it is like I'm grateful for them, and yes, there is some art and rhythm to it, and I'm still learning.
So now I'm learning so much about you. I feel like that I didn't know. Do you have any sort of like outside of the industry, like passions or hobbies that you like to do? I love asking this question because I always get like the most unexpected answers, but what are some things you go to kind of get your mind away from the business?
I like to work out. I do kickboxing, fight training, stuff like that. What do I like? Honestly, like I'm like, well, for my free time, I just write. I paint, I draw. My grandmother, she was a painter, and so I think that's probably where that comes from. It's just sort of like when you're in flow, but also that is like writing when you're in flow. I love interior design. It's my new passion. And again, it's interesting because when I look at stuff, I have to look at it's some director in me. I don't know. I have to like step back and look at the whole picture to be like, okay, this used to go there. This should go there. This should go there. That should go there.
You're reorganizing it. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah. Aside from that, oh, I recently picked up tennis.
Oh, okay.
And I have
That's
to
a
say,
good
I
activity.
love it. Yeah, it's so fun and to be outside and I just, yeah, I love it. It's really great.
See, I love that you got all these well-rounded different things, that's what I think the key to like, not only we talked about as an individual, but as a performer, you need to have other interests. You can't be like actor 100% of the time, because that's just not realistic. And that's not going to,
then what are you doing the rest of the time?
right. It's like, you're not living a real productive life. You need those like life experiences. That's cool that you're like, it's still creative too, because you're doing like the painting and drawing, that's creative, and the interior design, that's creativity too, just another aspect of it. So you're all keeping it in the same creative realm.
Yeah. And I just also, it might sound kind of cheesy, but I love to learn. Like I love learning and applying and being like, oh, I actually did that. I actually, wow. And then I'm like, that actually kind of feels good. This is building self-esteem. You know what I mean? Like that's all a good feeling. And, just continuing to grow.
I like that because all these activities keep you occupied from having to date, which is a complete.
I know. I'm not interested in dating anyone. So
I'm trying to tell myself that, and then yeah, I fall on I'd fall on my face usually.
Oh, well, put your focus elsewhere. Maybe someone will come along.
That's right. Hey, just like in this movie, sort of a thing, right? The unexpected. You never know when it happens until it happens. I think that's kind of the best way, right? When you don't expect things, when they kind of happen, because when you push for things or you try too hard, it usually, there's something about law of nature. It just doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah. No, 100%. You can't force things. You have to let things happen the way they're supposed to.
You seem to be in a really good place, and that's really cool to see, especially, what the ups and downs that we all face is a world, but and even in your personal life, that's cool to see that, that you're doing well and you're finding new creative outlets in life too.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm super excited about that. Do you kind of miss? I mean, do you still keep in touch with the cast from Arrow or anyone from the DC universe?
I do, and I miss them so much. I do. Yeah, it's actually great. I've been going this past 2 weekends. I've gone and done conventions.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great to like be around. We're safe. We're wearing masks. There's plexiglass between us, but it's just great. Like the energy is still really good, and everyone seems to be really in good spirits. And it's so great to be able to see, like John Barrowman and Stephen Amell. These are my people. So yeah, they bring a huge smile to my face all the time. So I miss them so much.
Yeah, and they're all doing well too. Steven's doing the heel show now so he's doing well too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just kind of, you guys have graduated in a sense in life. Now everyone's going off to different places and things,
Totally.
All good things come to an end, but it's
exactly. And it's so funny because I actually shot in Georgia, Agent Game, and he was in Atlanta. I believe that's where he was shooting. That's where they shot Heels, and we ended up getting to hang out and see each other one night while I was there shooting, because he was going to the PGA Golf Tour area, and he was like, I'm coming in hot. And I hadn't seen him since November 2019 when we wrapped the show. Wow. So it was just so fun to like, when you cross paths, like, shooting other productions, but like you're like, my person. It's fun. It's cute.
Yeah, it's like your family, your working family, right? In that way.
Exactly, 100%.
I know you got to run. You have more press to do today, but this has been such a blast. I've been, like I said, it's so cool to finally connect and get to talk to you. And I've so many other things I wanted to get into, but we're going to have to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I think you're coming, from what I heard, you're coming to a convention. I'm in Chicago. So I think you're coming to like a Wizard World convention in
I am.
yeah. I should be there. So I'll definitely
come say hi.
I will come say hi for sure.
Good. I love that. I'll see you in Chicago.
Sounds good. All right. Take care, Katie. Keep well and stay well.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.